the last video, we were talking about the financial difficulties. Maybe you have opened your chart and see, oh, do I have it? Yes, it is there. But now, is it something manageable or it will take the sleep of my night away? This is quite an important question. And in this video, we will answer that. We will be going through two approaches. One of them is more correct, and then we will be seeing or revealing two methods which will give you a nice answer to this problematic. So let's roll the intro and start with the first one. The first thing which is important, or how I call it, is the amount or sum or average or calculate type of method. And this is not only restricted to finances. This is also used in compatibility. You know this numbering system. We are having two people, then there is some special Ashtakuta principle which will give us the number. So how much you have? I have 18, and you, we have 20 with my partner, right? We are better. Unfortunately, it looks fine, right? We like those numbers. We like to average out and get us this one thing which will define us, right? Therefore, this one sign astrology is so popular because we have so many complications in life. We love this shortcuts. Give me only that one sign archetype which I can deal with. Unfortunately, the life is complex and there are some shortcuts, but we have to also understand where is simple good and when it's simplified too much, when there is already deluding us or giving us problem. You also will know that there is the Shadbala. This is also kind of calculation method, and there is also this longevity, right? There are different types of calculating longevity, and also one of them is based on some mathematical principle which will give you exact year. So from what we have seen, there is a better approach to all of these things. I call it the crossing threshold or touching the threshold level crossing points. And then they give you some notifications. Just like you have a smartwatch, right? There are many loud noises around you, or the heartbeat is going to 150 and you are not doing anything. And then it gives you that notification. Oh, there is something wrong. Why it is giving you that notification? Because it has touched the measure fluid or measure thing, whatever it is measuring, it has touched that threshold, and then this is the sign. It is serious, it is extreme. So this method of touching or having yoga or opening something which is extreme and it's activating that point, this is much more reliable method. So in this video, we'll explore that path. Of course, now the question is, what are these points which have to get activated to make that financial problem serious? And I have many such questions like, oh, I have Dagda dosha and their combustion. Is it problematic? Or I have a Panchanga dosha and there is also Vakri, right? And there is, this is also Dagda. So now we have we are stacking the doshas or the affliction, compounding the afflictions, and then we think, oh, it is now serious. Again, we have those proverbs that those dogs who bark loud, they may not bite you, or there is the big thunder and it will not give you any rain. So you will notice that there are charts which have only slight affliction in the Rashi, and this is opening a huge problem. On the other hand, you have seen, or you should see through the examples, that there were a big problematic yoga and it was screaming loud, but it ended up well. Instead of counting the number of affliction related to yoga and trying to estimate the level of problem, it is better to find what threshold points have to be activated and see if they are activated. Then we know, oh, this is serious. So in the Michael Milken chart, you will see that he was indicated in Jupiter Mercury, and then also in other Dasha, he pleaded guilty in Mercury Antardasha. And you will see Moon and Jupiter are in the third. What is the special thing about that? Why it was activated in this time? And we have in Heidi Flies also the Mercury in the 11th house. Also in Mercury Ketu, that was the time when she got into the troubles. Again, we have to ask, why this point got activated. Do we have this threshold, red flags points somewhere here? Debbie Reynolds, remember that chart? The second spouse left her with huge debt, which she was dealing with for 10 years. And we were discussing the role of Jupiter, right? The second Upapada was in Taurus, giving effects to the Jupiter because Venus is an own sign, so it gives results to Jupiter. And we said Jupiter is having yoga with Rahu. Now again, what is that thing which is combining Jupiter and Rahu? Then we have this Bankman-Fried person who was into cryptocurrency, also big legal issues, fraud and all that stuff. Mercury and Moon in 11th house. Mercury debilitated. And again, it happened in Mercury Ketu, I think. So something is there about the 11th house. Now, when you will go through all of these examples, for example, in Heidi Fleiss, this Mercury is also 6th Lord. And in the other places, you will also notice, for example, for Michael Milken, that Moon and Jupiter, which looks quite innocent, is in fact 6th and 11th Lord, because Moon is the Lord of Taurus. So then we see, oh, this is the Danda houses, right? 6th and 11th. This is punishment. So now you can see that we have a point which is showing what's going on, and we also have this, oh, now it has come to a punishment. So this is the one. The second would be, do we have equivalent of that or similar thing on the Karaka level? Because the yogas may be on the Lordship level, right? Like we have found 6th and 11th, but also there are yogas on the Karaka level. Like for example, we have Venus and Mars giving many relationship, or you have Moon and Jupiter, which is giving the Gajakeshari yoga, very famous one, popular one, which is giving many, many good qualities according to the Shastra. Or for example, you have Venus, Ketu, Saturn, which is giving Tapashvi, someone who is able to do a very huge renunciation or the austerity. So now the question would be, what Karaka yoga is giving us this? We are going to the rock bottom of the barrel, right? You cannot go lower. What is the boundary? You could say now or think about, is it about Rahu and Ketu? Maybe I'm not saying no. We can go in that direction. There must be something there. But there is also something which is showing the end of everything. So in the Bankman chart, 4th from Sun. Remember in the last video we said that you can also see the 4th from Sun. Take the Lord and see how it is placed. Here it is with the Mars and Saturn. Heidi Fleiss, 10th Lord Venus. Van Damme, we all know him. Actor related to martial arts. 10th, 4th. Mars and Saturn. Diego Maradona, famous soccer player, Mars, Saturn 2nd and 8th. Borg Bjorn, also big, huge financial problems, Mars in 2nd, Saturn in 11th, Parivartana. And finally, this Debbie Reynolds, in the Navamsha, this whole Saturn. Remember, in the last point, we were finalizing our principle using the Navamsha, and we said how wealth of second spouse was the burden put on her head, on the ascendant, as the Saturn debilitated, but that Saturn is also in the martial sign. So in all of these examples I have found, we have some Mars-Saturn yoga. This is showing the end. This is the death, right? So if that yoga is related to your finances, is it showing a possibility of death? We are touched the rock bottom of things. By the way, if you like to have your chart analyzed by me on the Zoom, 60 or 90 minutes, when we are going through the Rasi, Navamsha, Dashamsa, all the yogas, the Dashas, and we are giving you the remedies to block the negatives, enhance the positive points on your chart, then you can find the link in the description. But again, our experience is destroying that whole thing we discussed till now. Or at least it is not the final. It is how the Rahu is shaking the Ketu. Right? You may have nice theory, which will be aesthetically very appreciated. You will have nice divisions. Everything is related to some nice names, and it refers to the society and to our culture and to how we feel very nicely. It is all the rational theory is nice, but then when you start to apply it, it is somehow cracking. It's not surviving the case studies. So this is why people don't like Rahu or philosophers, and in antiques we had them killed for such destroying the authority, right? So Rahu is very important. But if you do this Rahu and Ketu cycles, then your theory is now translating into Vijnana. It is becoming very powerful, fulfilled and experienced knowledge, something which you can use. And this knowledge now can give you power because it has that relation to reality. But what I want to say with all that, I want to say that with Rashi alone, Rashi is the main chart. Even if you have this 6, 11, Mars and Saturn, your observation should tell you that charts which have similar Rasi charts, so the main chart is the same, they will have different manifestation. So if you think about it, there must be some factor which is not in the Rasi chart, which is determining or changing that whole final outcome. Now, if you are in Western astrology, you don't have any solution to that. But in the Vedic astrology, we have something which is transcending Rasi chart. We have Navamsha and we have Vargas. So, same Rasi chart, different Navamsha, totally different outcome. Same Rasi chart, different Dashamsa, totally different outcome, right? Therefore, we said about those tiles. The light is coming to the Rasi chart. All the tiles from the top look the same, but they may be rotated, tilted in different degree, and they will reflect the light in different direction. So that tilt is the Navamsha and Varga. So if we look at the Bankman-Fried chart, Navamsha, it was all in Capricorn, Rasi Dasha when it happened, Saturn and Mars. Again, Saturn and Mars, right? Now in the Navamsha. But it is related to something serious here. What about Dashamsa? Capricorn is a 12th house, having that 8th Lord in the Dashamsa. What about this Michael Milken in the Navamsha? We have this Kemadruma Yoga, right? Malefics on the 2nd and 8th. And this is also somehow including the 10th Lord. Is the 10th Lord in Navamsha important for these mothers? About the Willie Nelson, who had all of these problems in Aries Dasha. It happens that this Aries in Dashamsa is 8th house. So in all of these examples, we have 10th house or Lord in the Navamsha badly placed and touched in that period of problems. And also in the Dashamsa, it was related to 8th house or showing any other problematic combination, like using the 12th house or having bandhana yogas or somehow blocking your career, like maybe having malefics in the 4th, which may also block the career. There was one chart which Dasha activated at that point. So this is what differs those huge and extreme and problematic cases which were threatening those people with jail, defamation, and not starting career in that same line again from you. If you don't have those Navamsha, those Dashamsas, and in that time they are not activating those, let's call it the red flag or crossing threshold points, then it may scream a lot, but it will somehow come to the default state of something manageable. And if not, if it's activating those points, then at least you know you have to be prepared and you can compensate with material preparation, also metaphysical preparation in the form of mantras and other things. Okay, guys, so that's it. And there is something positive about the finances and the timings. And this will be explained in this video here.